So, what is your most vivid memory from your years at Carlisle High School?
See, I knew you were going to ask me crazy questions, so I couldn't answer. Oh. Are you talking about when I went to school?
Anything.
When you were
From-
a student at
yeah.
Carlisle.
From being a student or even teaching. That'd be cool too.
Lots of memories, lots of good
Mm-hmm.
kids and good friends.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of exciting times, like the time somebody I taught on the first floor, on the basement floor in high school,
Mm-hmm.
in the old Lamberton building,
Oh yeah.
and kept some kids after school, and one of them climbed out the window.
Oh my God.
Wow.
No,
Okay,
that's
that's enough.
not good. This is a good question for you. You had a nickname in high school?
In high school? No, that came in college.
Ah.
No, I didn't have a
Oh,
nickname in high
just
school,
Jean.
I don't think.
That's
I don't think so. I think I got my nickname in college.
mm-hmm. Morton.
Yeah.
What's your favorite class and why? What was your
You
favorite
mean class that I taught?
No, as a student.
as a student?
Oh, as a student. Oh my gosh, that's so far back I have to think. We all loved Mr. Gillaw, who was a science teacher, biology teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think what his favorite quote was that we used to use so much, but I can't come up with it now. But he was great. He was everybody's favorite.
Oh.
Is that Maynard Gillaw,
Uh-huh.
who they named an award after here?
Oh.
Still,
Is there an award
Yeah.
named after him? There may be. I've forgotten that.
Let's see.
See, I've forgotten more than anybody.
Okay. Which classmate influenced you the most?
Which
Classmate.
classmate?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Or
I had
classmates.
lots of good friends. The one who, well, I had a whole pack of people.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one or two who are still living. One of them is Lorraine Humer, who is at Cornwall,
Oh.
and the other is Gina Teskey,
Yeah.
whom you know.
Mm-hmm.
what about that pack of people?
Hmm?
You had a pack of people, you said. What
Well,
What
you
about,
know, you-
what was the influence?
You had a group that you did things with.
Mm-hmm.
And, but that changed from year to year, you know, as you moved on.
Right.
From when I was like in grade school and then into high school, you had different friends.
Makes sense.
That's
Did you,
enough.
did you meet Mrs. Metesky in high school, or was that early?
I probably, actually, we weren't really close in high school. That came
Oh,
later.
yeah.
A couple of my friends who I was closest to lived near her, and I always knew her, but, you know,
We're friends now.
yeah, yeah.
Let's see. Which teacher or teachers influenced your life and made a lasting impression, and why?
Well, I don't know so much about high school teachers. I had a college professor who was particularly influential. As I think of my high school teachers, I have to think about them. They were classics.
Mhm.
One was Mabel Bucher, and another Blanche Dom, and Mary Bob Carnes. These are all people who are no longer with us, but they
Aw.
were influential at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you say they were classics?
Pardon?
Why do you say they were classics?
Well, they were teachers for years and years. They were dedicated teachers. You know, in those days, teachers taught for 20, 30 years.
Can Can I butt in with one?
Sure.
And when you were a teacher here, you've told me before about Dr. Potter being influential,
Mr.
right?
Potter.
Could you perhaps tell them a little bit about him? He was an interesting guy.
He was a superintendent when I was in school, and then he was also the man to whom I applied for a job
Right.
when I came out of Shippensburg. And I liked Mr. Potter very much. He was not a favorite of everybody's,
No.
but he was really a self-made man. I can't remember. He had one arm. I always remember he had an artificial hand, wore a black glove. I mean,
Wow.
I just always remember
That's
that.
interesting.
But
Interesting.
Was there a time when you asked him for a raise that was a little bit kind of ahead of your time in terms of sticking up for women's rights?
well, that
Oh,
was,
very much.
I don't know if that was Mr. Potter or Mr. Cartwright. It was 44, and I came directly to Carlisle from Shippensburg, and some of the kids that I had in class were older than I was because they were returned veterans.
Oh, wow.
I was just 20 because I was early. I mean,
You
because of the
skipped.
way my birthday fell, I was younger than most of the people in my class. And when I started to teach, I had some returned veterans. That was a challenge.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Because they had a heck of a lot more experience than I did.
So what about that time when you asked for a raise?
Well, when I was hired, they, we were $1,200 a year is about what most teachers got at that point. And gradually, people were getting $1,300, $1,400, and I was hired at, I'm really not quite sure, but I'm going to say $1,500. And my friend from Shippensburg, a fellow student, was hired the next year, and he was hired, that was Charlie Raymond, he was hired at a couple hundred more than I was
Oh.
making. And my mentor at Shippensburg, Dr. Skeen, who I mentioned, said, you get yourself in there and you tell them that you need to be making as much as he is or more, because
Right.
I had now a year's experience.
Good for you.
Anyway, I did go in, and I did get a raise, but I didn't get as much as he did.
Aw, that's okay.
By 100 or so.
Yeah.
But $100 was a lot of money in those days.
Good for
Okay,
you.
is that enough?
I think that's
Yeah.